Dunmorrow? More like Dunlesso. Elwyn Forest? More like Lose Forest. Eversong Woods? More like Eversong, would you like to go somewhere else? Tearsfall Glades? More like tears are falling from my face whenever I'm in this zone. Loch Modan? More like set my clock mode on snooze because I'm sleeping through this one. Silverpine Forest? More like Neverpine Forest. Gilneas? More like still needs to be shut away behind Greymane Wall. Need to change that one. Westfall? More like Worstfall. Ghostlands? Yeah, because everyone here is a ghost because they die of boredom. Red Ridge Mountains? More like Red Ditch these mountains because they are Snoozeville. Hillsbrad Foothills? More like Still Bad Foothills. Duskwood? More like Muskwood. Wetlands? More like get me out of these lands. Arathi Highlands? More like Arathi Hi-Ho a Cheerio, to another zone we go. Northern Stranglethorn? More like I'm gonna need someone to strangle me because I'm so bored here. The Cape of Stranglethorn? More like the escape of Stranglethorn. The Hinterlands? Please don't hinder my progress as I make my way to the nearest exit. Western Plaguelands? More like Western Mistake Lands. Eastern Plaguelands? More like Eastern Mistake Lands. Badlands? More like Badlands. Searing Gorge? More like Searing Snores. Burning Steps? More like Yearning Steps because I yearn to get out of this one. Deadwind Pass? More like Deadwind Trash. Swamp of Sorrows? Yeah, because I'm filled with sorrow every time I come here by mistake. Blasted Lands? More like Blasted Blands. Quel'Danas? More like quell my burning desire to leave this place. Vashir? This entire zone is underwater, and it's a miserable experience because of it. Twilight Highlands? More like Twilight Hi-Ho a Cheerio, to another zone we go. Tol Barad? More like totally bad. Azor Mist Isle? More like Azor miss me with that boring zone. Blood Mist Isle? More like Blood miss me with that boring zone. Durotar? More like I'm gonna go retire to bed because this zone is making me sleepy. Mulgore? More like Mulbore. Teldrassil? More like I'm telling ya not to come here. Azshara? More like as far as I'm concerned, this is the most boring zone there is. Darkshore? More like Dark Snore. Northern Barrens? More like Northern Borans. Southern Barrens? More like... Shoot, I gotta come back to this one. Ashenvale? More like Crash and Fail. Stone Talon Mountains? Stone Talon Mountains? More like phones out in my hands because I'm calling my friend to come pick me up. Desolus? Yeah, I'm gonna need to seek the solace after walking through this wasteland. Feralus? More like there is. More like there is gotta be a better place to go than this. Feralus was tough. Dustwallow Marsh? More like Dustwallow Farts. Thousand Needles? More like 1,000 reasons to leave this place. Fellwood? More like this fellow would rather be somewhere else. Tenaris? More like think there is somewhere better to go. Ungoro Crater, more like see you later. Winter Spring, more like not very interesting. Silithus, more like why are we still at this zone? Encourage, more like I will dodge this one. Moonglade, more like boo glade. Mount Hyjal, more like sounds like I'll be leaving soon. Oldum, more like old dumb, like DUMB. Hellfire Peninsula, more like hell. I forgot to finish this one. Come back to that one in a second. Zanger Marsh, more like Anger Marsh. Terrakar Forest, more like Terrible Snorist. Nagrand, more like Nah Fam. Blades Edge Mountains, more like Stay in Bed Mountains. That one's kind of a stretch. Netherstorm, more like Nether Snore. This one's also a stretch. Shadow Moon Valley, more like don't dilly dally because we better keep moving. Borean Tundra, more like Snorian Tundra. Howling Fjord, more like Howling Snore. I'm gonna change Borean Tundra. Borean Tundra, more like Boring Tundra. Dragonblight, more like Dragon D's nut. Grizzly Hills, more like Grizzly fills me with boredom. Zoldrak, more like Drool Drac. Sholazar Basin, more like I'm racing to get out of here. Storm Peaks, more like Snore Peaks. Crystal Song Forest, more like Crystal Song Snorist. This is pretty much whenever there's a forest, I just say Snorist instead of forest. Ice Crown, more like Ice Frown. Winter Grasp, more like Winter Gasp. This zone is terrible. Kazan, more like I can't believe how bad this zone is. Lost Isles, more like I lost my will to live after coming here. Deep Home, more like Sleep Home. Wandering Isle, more like I'm wondering how soon I can leave. The Jade Forest, more like the Jade Snorist. Valley of the Four Winds, more like Valley of the Four Naps. Krasarang Wilds, more like Krasadang. This place stinks. Kunlai Summit, more like run right from it. Town Long Steps, more like frown long steps. Dread Wastes, yeah, because I dread coming back here. Vale of Eternal Blossoms, more like Vale of Eternal Snoozes. Isle of Thunder, more like Isle of Wondering if there's anywhere else I can be. Isle of Giants, more like I love giant naps. We're almost done, don't worry. Timeless Isle, more like time to get off this isle. Frostfire Ridge, more like Frost Fire whoever came up with this zone. Ridge. Shadow Moon Valley, more like didn't I do this one already? Are there two Shadow Moon Valleys? Oh, it's because of Warlords of Draenor. I did this one already. Just go back and look at the last one. Gorgrond, more like Snorgrond. Talador, more like Talibor. Spires of Arak, more like I'm tired. I didn't finish this one, I forgot. Tanan Jungle, more like Tanan Fumble. Ashran, more like Trashran. Valshara, more like Valshara ride with me, let's get out of here. Stormheim, more like Snorheim. Azsuna, more like as soon as I get the chance, I'm out of here. High Mountain, more like goodbye mountain. Soramar, more like yeah, I'm sure I wanna go far away from here. The Broken Shore. The Broken Shore? Yeah, you better fix it. Drustvar? More like trust me, buddy, you don't want to go here. Mechagon Island? More like I'm already gone from this island. Stormsong Valley? More like Snorelong Valley. Tieragard Sound? More like my tears are large around this zone. Zuldazar, more like you'll stay far from this one if you want to stay awake. Nazmir, more like pause here and go take a nap because you'll need it. Voldoon, more like you'll be doing a whole lot of nothing around here, bud. The Maw, more like the snore. Bastion? This one, you have to look at the spelling. Bastion? More like Bash-Joff. Maldraxxus? More like malpractice, which is what the developers did when they made this zone. Ardenweald? More like farting field. Revendreth? More like I'm revving my car to get out of here. I think there were some that I said I would come back to, but I'm not going to be able to think of them on the spot because I already tried thinking of them before this and I couldn't think of anything. Comment your favorite one. For me, it was definitely High Mountain, more like Goodbye Mountain. All right. Well, thanks everyone.